This is Driveclub. It's my favorite PlayStation game of all time. Driveclub came out in 2014 on the PlayStation 4. Visually, it still looks better than many racing games released afterwards. Also, it's not that Driveclub only has good graphics, it's super fun. I really love playing this game for hours. Yet, right now, you cannot buy it, at least from any official store. You cannot download the DLC tracks or cars from the official store. If you are lucky enough to find a second-hand disc on eBay, pray to God that it works when you put it in the disk drive. Oh right, you will actually need a disk drive with your console, else you're out of luck. Driveclub is a ghost. Sony pulled the game from digital shelves in 2019. They shut down the servers in 2020. The development team, Evolution Studios, was closed down even earlier. If you do not own an old physical disc and an old console, this game practically does not exist. This is where modern gaming is heading, and this is why emulation matters more today than ever before. The game runs well on PS5. I'm not saying you must own a PS4 to play the game, but you either must own the game or your PS5 must have a disk drive. Else you have no way to play the game. There is one catch here, the savior emulation. For years, people treated emulation as a tool for retro nostalgia. We used it to play Super Mario on a laptop or revisit old PS2 classics. It felt like a hobby meant only for 90s games. That mindset is completely outdated. Today, modern games are disappearing faster than the classics ever did. Physical discs often hold just a download installer. When the license expires, the game is erased. Driveclub suffered from the worst enemy of modern racing games, licensing deals. Every car, every manufacturer logo, and every music track is tied to legal contracts. Those contracts last only a few years. Once the clock runs out, the publisher faces a choice. They can pay millions to renew the rights, or they can simply delete the game. Publishers almost always choose deletion. When a studio shuts down, the situation gets even worse. There is no original developer left to push for a remaster. There is no passionate internal team to fix the code for new platforms. The game becomes stranded on aging hardware. Without a commercial reason to port it, big corporations simply let it die in their archives. We are told that backward compatibility solves this, but backward compatibility is a corporate favor, not a guarantee. It depends entirely on what a company decides is profitable to maintain. If a game is trapped in licensing limbo, no platform holder will let you download it on a modern storefront. Backward compatibility cannot save a game that legal teams want gone. This leaves an entire generation of art in danger. The PS3, Xbox 360, and PS4 eras were defined by massive technical leaps, yet hundreds of those titles are slowly becoming unplayable. Original hardware does not last forever. Capacitors leak, optical drives fail, power supplies burn out over time. Relying on old plastic and silicon is a losing battle. When the last working console breaks down, the software trapped inside dies with it. Emulation breaks that hardware trap. It separates the game from the physical box it was built for. It allows software to live on any standard screen and processor for decades. It turns commercial software into preserved culture. Just like old books and films, video games deserve to be studied and appreciated long after their sales window closes. No company keeps every old product alive. Film studios let thousands of silent films rot in vaults. The game industry is making the exact same mistake right now at a faster pace. Emulation is the only neutral archivist we have. It does not care about quarterly revenue, it does not care about licensing expirations or marketing budgets. It only cares about making the code run. There is another massive reason why emulation is vital. It is not just about keeping a game running, it is about setting that game free from original hardware limits. Driveclub was a technical marvel, but the base PS4 struggled to run it. The game was locked to 30 frames per second. It had noticeable frame pacing issues on heavy weather tracks. For years, that was the only way to experience it. You had to accept the 30 frames cap because the console could not do more. Modern PS4 emulation is changing that reality. Independent developers have spent years reverse engineering the system. They are now running Driveclub with unlocked frame rates and higher resolutions. Seeing this game run at 60 frames per second feels entirely new. The emulator isn't perfect. The 60 FPS you are seeing here is frame generation. however, it feels super good. The original art design has aged very well. It was never about making the game look realistic, it was about making the game gorgeous, which is timeless. This happens with almost every emulated platform. The community adds widescreen hacks, fixes bad frame pacing, and introduces custom controller support. Original publishers rarely invest in that level of care for older catalogs. When official remasters do happen, they often cost full price and introduce new bugs. Community emulation projects do the heavy lifting for free out of pure passion for the medium. They fix broken code that the original studios never had time to patch. Some people argue that emulation hurts developers, but you cannot buy Driveclub today even if you want to give money to the creators. The money from used disc sales never reaches the original developers anyway. Preserving a game that is out of print hurts nobody. It keeps the work of artists, programmers, and sound designers alive for future generations to study. Think about the thousands of games currently locked to older platforms. Think about games with dead servers, delisted soundtracks, and discontinued digital shops. If we rely solely on official channels, vast pieces of gaming history will vanish completely. We will only remember the handful of blockbusters that get endless remakes. The forgotten gems and ambitious experiments will simply fade away. Driveclub came very close to that exact fate. Every time an emulator boots an abandoned title, a piece of gaming history is saved from the trash bin. It proves that great design does not belong to a single piece of plastic under your TV. We are living in an era of digital impermanence. You buy a game, but you only rent the license until a server turns off. Emulation is the answer to that problem. It gives the medium permanence. It ensures that when corporations move on, the art remains playable for anyone who wants to experience it. Driveclub deserves to be played 10 years from now. It deserves to be seen in full motion at maximum speed. As long as community developers keep building these tools, games like this will never truly disappear. Emulation is not a novelty anymore. It is the only real future game preservation has.